every afternoon for further IV treatment. The medicines made me feel even sicker, but this painful process was a means to an end, restoration of my health. After I'd completed 4 weeks of treatment, my husband had to return to Australia, but I still had 8 weeks to go. A number of Christians and a few non-Christians in the area reached out to me and made it possible for me to complete the 12 weeks of treatment. Some of these people, especially my host family, were heroic in their care of me, and I will never forget them. Midway through this 12-week protocol, the doctor told me I also had babesiosis, another confection of Lyme. She announced this to me cheerily, as though it were good news, but I was deeply discouraged by this discovery. Shortly before the end of my treatment time, I received several hours of powerful prayer from some local prayer warriors. I started feeling significantly better after that, and I began taking short walks around the neighborhood where I was living. I wasn't sure whether my improvement was from the treatment, the prayer, or both, but I was thankful and encouraged. However, this improvement was short-lived. A few days after I had my last IV treatment, I relapsed. I returned to Australia in late October with a very bad cold and massive disappointment. I continued to take high doses of oral antibiotics and lots of supplements, but my health did not improve. Once I settled back into life in Perth, I thought about doing some writing. My mind gravitated toward hope, something I desperately needed at that time. Healing continued to elude me, but I realized I could still have hope in Jesus, in His goodness, His unfailing love, His continual presence. This hope gradually became my light shining in the darkness of disappointment. Writing was very difficult for me at that time because of severe brain fog. When it got especially bad, I would tell my husband, "I feel as if I'm on the verge of losing consciousness." My doctor in Perth ordered some blood tests that showed I had primary hyperparathyroidism, caused by a benign tumor on one of my 4 parathyroid glands. To have the tumor removed using minimally invasive surgery, I had to fly all the way across Australia to Melbourne. The surgeon who treated me was very skilled, and the procedure was successful. Soon after I awoke from general anesthesia, my son in Tennessee managed to get a call through to me in my hospital room. Even with the anesthesia still very much in my body, I could honestly tell him I felt more alert than before. As a result of the surgery, the brain fog that had been holding me back was significantly reduced. Not long after I returned to Perth, I was ready to write again. Though I still struggled with many symptoms, the light of Jesus' hope grew brighter and brighter as I continued to write, focusing on Him. I discovered that hope is a way of seeing, a type of vision that defeats discouragement. I am convinced that if I had been healthier, I would not have been able to write this book. I might have been able to write a different book, but I could not have written this one. Jesus Today, experiencing hope through His presence, definitely came out of the trenches, as it is designed to speak hope into the lives of all its readers. I believe the message of hope is extremely important at this time, for people throughout the U.S. and around the world. Many individuals are feeling quite insecure and anxious because of economic problems, natural catastrophes, unstable governments in various parts of the world, plus nuclear and terrorist threats. There is a hopelessness creeping into people's mindsets as they look at problems in their lives and all around them. There is also a sense of hopelessness among people who have lost jobs, homes, health, or loved ones. But the hope we can find in the Bible is a sturdy reality, no matter what is happening in our lives or in the world. For Christians, our hope is firmly anchored in the cross of Christ. Because He paid the penalty for all our sins, we know that we are fully forgiven and that ultimately our story finishes well at the point.